Good evening. Welcome into another fun-filled episode of the Power Hour. I'm Steve, along with the urban sensation C Red, lighting up as usual. We've got our favorite knockout Rachel here tonight, and we've got the one and only inter-county champion, real deal Rion Skills Information Liaison at IPW. Tonight we got a great show. Got a lot to do tonight. We're going to talk about what happened at Rocket Pro this past Saturday. We will talk about what happened at Dutch Babies 4 on Sunday. And then we'll preview the knockouts bout on Saturday. And we'll talk a whole lot about CSW's Click, Boom, Boom event happening in Franklin Park Friday night. But tonight we have one of the true nice human beings. And when you're in the world of professional wrestling, it is littered with not nice human beings. But I have known this man for a while now, a number of years. And one of the nicest folks, and he is strapped now as the POW Entertainment Champion. Ladies and gentlemen, give a big bark to the Moondog, Greg Murray. How you doing, Moondog?
Doing awesome. I'm excited to be on, and actually for an interview, not for 20-second Saturday Night main event promo like last time.
You had a 20-second run in. That was our first experience with you. But oh, look at how far you've come since that 20-second run in.
No kidding, right?
You've gone through a metamorphosis. I mean, at first you were the Moondog, then for a while you became the dog-faced bastard, but people just wouldn't let the Moondog go.
No, they wouldn't.
So due to popular demand, the Moondog came back, and look at you holding that POW Entertainment Champion. Congratulations. That is one hell of a title.
Thank you. I know it's crazy because I'm still not used to it. I still come to my house, I see it hanging on my chair, and I'm like, oh, that's right. I won.
Take us back to that moment where you overcame maybe some odds, and and I don't know everything you do, but I do follow a lot of what you do. This is your first major championship, is it not?
It's my first championship altogether.
Okay, so they say your first is always your best. I'll never forget mine.
Yeah.
Take us through that moment. Take us through that match when you rose to the top of POW Entertainment. And, we had Jimmy Blaze on a few weeks ago. And, when you talk to Jimmy about POW, POW has been doing this longer than almost anybody in the area. Promotion, and to be their champion, that says a lot about you. Take us through that match and that moment.
Yeah, I was wrestling Scott Spade, and it was just one of those deals where like, oh, there's no way Moondog's gonna win. One of those guys, like, everybody loves Moondog, but like, he always comes up short. But this time I didn't. And for this to be my first championship still blows me away, because like I figured like my first title would be like a tag title or like like an upstart promotion, that sort of deal. But for it to be like a POW Heavyweight Championship is just mind-boggling, because like Vic Capri held this, Jimmy Blaze held this, Brandon Bishop held it. Like a lot of history of Chicago wrestling held this title, and it blows me away. And I'm blessed to have it, and I think everybody who's believed in me, because when I won it, it was 2.5 years. I've been wrestling for like 2.5 years, and that day, all of the BS and stress and self-doubt and all that stuff was finally out the window. And it was justified that what I'm doing right now, living my dream, is the right decision, because I'm a lot healthier physically, because before I was in wrestling, I was like 300 pounds. So when I got into wrestling, I lost a lot of weight. I'm trying to put on muscle. It's been a task and a half, but it's going. But I don't regret becoming a wrestler. There's days I get grumpy because I got aches and pains, but like we all do. So, but like, and there's times where I wonder, like, oh, am I doing the right thing? This and the other. That's just, I have bipolar disorder, so I'm constantly like thinking stupid stuff. But like, end of the day, end of the week, if you look at me and you ask, are you happy being a wrestler? Yes. So it's like, why am I worrying about this little stuff? So again, coming home and seeing this belt in my room just reminds me, like, oh yeah, there's a reason why you're a wrestler. There's a reason why what you're doing is paying off and such. Because I never thought I'd make it past my first match. let alone make it to my first championship, let alone making through like my first month, my first day, my first year. So the fact that I'm here 2.5 years later, almost 3 years come January, and I've competed on 2 GCW events. I've been in some of these major indie promotions in Chicago. I've got to wrestle in Texas. I'm going to be wrestling in California soon. I got to wrestle all over the Midwest. And just 2.5 years is pretty impressive. And I got to remind myself that sometimes, because, there's guys who are in, my CSW class who still haven't done that. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's just everybody has their own journey and has their own pace of where they're going. So again, the fact I got to remember not to belittle myself in a way and remind myself what you're doing is working. It just takes time. Nothing was made overnight. There's no such thing as an overnight sensation, as Paul Heyman once said. And even then, that overnight sensation, it took 10 years to get. So for them. So it's humbling, to say the least.
C Red, you've been in this business an awfully long time. To get a major championship like the POW Entertainment Heavyweight Champion, held by some of some impressive folks. I mean, Jimmy Blaze, Hunter Payne, Spade. Scott Spade. Love him or hate him, hell of a wrestler. But 2.5 years in the journey to be the POW Heavyweight Champion. I mean, that you can count on one hand maybe how many times that's been done, right?
Very true. And it shows that a company is behind you 100%. And most times your first title is a mid-card title. Maybe it's a tag title, or maybe it's a mid-card title. It's usually never, the main title, the big shebang. So for Greg to have that on his shoulder, and it's been a few months now. So clearly he wasn't and isn't a transitional champion. That means POW fully is behind him, and that's kudos to who he's become as a wrestler and as a human being. So kudos.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate that.
I, of course, saw Moondog for the first time 2.5 years ago. He's a product of Chicago style wrestling. And I became GM of that company back in January of 2020, right when we shut down the world for the pandemic. So, I was GM for about 3.5 years. So I have watched the growth of Moondog up close, all the futures royals, all the things that were happening behind the scenes, the training at Baz's school. I have seen Moondog do lots of things. I've seen his class. You were in a hell of a class at the CSW training facility. There are some pretty significant names that came out around the time you did that are making noise everywhere. And even as of late at CSW, you have become one of the most popular superstars. When you come through the curtain, there's the dog barking and the dog pounding is big noise, especially when you and Joey Mayberry tagged up in that match.
Yeah.
In that drinking situation, that is one of those moments that will live in CSW infamy for a long time. So you have not only achieved a championship, but at your home, I'd have to consider CSW your home promotion because that's where you came from. You have achieved a level, and we always say this on commentary during the Futures Royal. CSW is proof positive that if you do the Royal and you work hard at the training center, that it can be a launch pad. And look at all the people that it's launched. Axel Rico, Sky Blue came from the training facility there. She was in, she she was in Futures Royals, a few of them before she started to do her thing. You know, guys like Joey Mayberry and Mateo Valentine. You know, you've all come from that training center and been in the Futures Royals, and look at, you know, how high you've climbed. So I believe that says a lot about the school.
Yes.
Talk to us a little bit about your training at CSW.
They run every Tuesdays and Thursdays. Axel would run Tuesdays. Boz runs Thursdays. Of course, Axel's been hurt, so Miller's taken up that mantle. You know, it's I looked at it as when Axel was running it, you got the more quicker pace, modern style of wrestling being taught to us, and like different ways to get into different things in your match. And then Boz brings it back to, you know, the basics, because when all else fails and everything in your match is not working, we have the basics to go back to fall back on and get us through to the finish line. A sure deal. And you know, your patience can be tested because you want to learn new stuff, right? But at the same time, you have to remember it's always good to review the basics, because for all you know, you had a bad habit that you didn't know you were developing that needs to be nipped like right away. And I certainly have a couple of bad habits that Boz is constantly beating me over the head about. But you know, it's a blessing, and things he'd point out. And then of course I do a bunch of seminars usually, with the ones that CSW will host before the show. I did a Ricky Marvin one at Galley. I did a Eugene one up in middle nowhere, Wisconsin. But I like learning different stuff. I like learning how to wrestle, obviously. Right now my big thing is chaining. I know, like, I want to learn how to chain, and I've been watching a lot of like old school British stuff. And sometimes Axel was always great about showing us about the chain stuff, as well as Hades. So anytime those guys came in, I always was excited because like I could learn about chaining stuff. Because I want, even if say I don't use it in a match, I'd love to know how to do it. You know, like Axel would show us lucha stuff. Are you gonna see me doing tope con hilos? Hell no. But if I can try it and see if I can do it, might have a new thing in my match. But if I can't do it, I'm not gonna lose my mind over it. Like, I can't do it, because like I don't see Chris Miller doing it either. So
Oh no, Chris Miller has gone off on a tangent in his own career where he seems to be very vested in destroying the women's division. But
absolutely,
that's a
and
whole
his feet are planted while he does it. You know,
it's
so.
a whole other thing. Rion's got a picture of you and Bombshell Shelley up there. Yeah. Friendships in this business.
Absolutely.
I follow you on social media, and I know you and Shelley are great friends.
Yes.
Is that's got to be one of the great things that you've discovered in your wrestling journey, the friendships that you can, and the CSW people are very close.
Yes.
You know, Shelley, Axel, you know, Joey and Mateo, you're all very close. Speak to us a little bit about the friendships in the business.
They're important, because like Hades and Boz and a lot of vets would tell us how lucky we have it, because a lot of times those every man for themselves, and there was no people looking out for you. It was you're looking out for yourself, which is sad to hear, you know, because like I think about that, I can only imagine trying to go through that with versus what I'm going through now with, you know, we have friends trying to boost each other up, getting each other spots on places and shows, and throwing our names out there and training together and working on stuff together. It's a blessing. So, and I'm very thankful for that. Shelley, I remember when she started at CSW, like, of course, Shelley walks through the door, everybody's head's going to turn, because look at her. So
yeah, she certainly commands the attention of just about everybody when she walks in the door. But it's amazing how fast she has gone from rookie to superstar.
Yeah. Like I talk about how like all the stuff I've accomplished in 2.5 years, she's accomplishing in half that. And it's crazy. And I'm so happy to see her do that. And when she won the Zawa women's title, I was over the moon, no pun intended, because I just saw it. You know, she's one of my best friends. But her first day, I remember, you know, I was just trying to be cool. I don't want to be creepy or come off creepy or anything like that. I was like, yeah, nice to meet you. So I'm Greg, da, da, da. I remember I had to go away for a few days to a hospital. And then when I came back the week after, I remember she gave me this big hug, said, "Hi, Mooney." He gives me a huge hug. I was like, "Oh, hi." Hi, nice to see you again. And then it just snowballed from there, a friendship. And, we'd have parties at her place and I'd stay the night, like, cause like I'm from Rockford. My average trip to wrestling shows is an hour and a half. So if I have a triple shot and they're all in Chicago, I could just stay the night at Shelley's, who lives like 20 to 30 minutes from most of these venues. So I can just stay there. I'm able to do that, stay the night and go to the next show. Sometimes we're on the same show together, so it just works out that way. But she's the one who started calling me Mooney. So if you ever heard a wrestler call me Mooney, I believe she's the one who started it. I forgot where she told me she got it from, but that's obviously short for Moondog. Cute little name for like Moondog, but it just stuck. And then everybody at CSW pretty much called me Mooney or Moondog or Greg. But like for the most part, I think most people just call me Mooney. Like Sky called me Mooney. Mateo and Joey call me that. Shelly. Axel calls me Moondog, but
As Axel would.
It's I'll mess up a move or something in class. He goes, Moondog. What the hell, man? It's like,
oh, that is a hell of an Axel impression. That was very good.
I love Axel to death. I miss him. And I can't wait for him to heal up so we can have classes again. But again, I think friendships in wrestling are important. I know, like, by the end of the day, who are your real friends? You could probably count on one hand. But even then, it's like, whether they're acquaintance, a friend, a close friend, or a total stranger, the fact that I can 9 times out of 10 get along with people, I think is awesome. Because, I don't want to come in and piss people off, obviously. No. That's the last thing I want to do. But so I rather have that impression of just making friends and such and going from there. And whether we only talk at the shows, we talk outside, it don't matter to me, as long as it's like that old cliche that the real treasure is the journey and the friends you make on the way. I mean, it's true. I think it's true. Yeah. Of course, it'd be nice to get some really good treasure, but again,
you would hope that at the end of the day, the treasure finds its way to you.
Exactly.
When somebody in your ranks hits the big time,
yeah,
how does that affect the crew mentally? You had mentioned Sky Blue. She calls you Mooney. That's a term of endearment that not everybody gets the right to call you. That's reserved for people that are part of your inner circle. No pun intended. She has obviously gone in a very short period of time to do really well. And she is locked in. You can't watch AEW without her making some kind of impact, especially in Chicago. What does that mean to you, and what does that mean to the group when one of your own makes that leap from where we're at in the indies to what is considered generally the big time?
Lights a fire under our ass, pretty much, because like it gets us motivated. Like, one of us made it, so like it gives us more confidence that like we could make it too if we just keep busting our ass and just doing what we can. Obviously, wrestling is the right place, right time. So like, and there's only so many spots available, but like at the same time, it's encouraging, especially seeing Sky make it, and then not even like seeing people get signed. It's like just seeing guys get a chance at like ROH or Dark, or even if they're wearing like the security outfit on WWE, everybody's up in arms, like going like, oh my God, they're on TV, and we get excited for each other. Like anytime we see Vic Capri on Dynamite, or we saw like Joey Avalon and Sierra on ROH and Impact, and Heather Reckless on Impact, it really, like, because oh my God, my friend's on TV. Like, it's a cool thing, because like I remember when Sky was made her pay-per-view debut on that one All Out. Me and a couple buddies were watching the pay-per-view and Sky came. I was like, "Oh yeah, that's my friend." And they're like, "Oh," I was like, "Yeah, I know her." So it's pretty cool. It's very encouraging, and everybody gets excited and happy for each other. Inboxes explode anytime, like, say, like I got on a GCW, or Sky gets on a Dynamite, and Capri gets on a Dynamite. So it's, as I keep saying over and over, encouraging.
And is that what you're looking to do? Only 2.5 years in the business, you're a baby. and you've achieved so much already. Is
Yeah.
that your end game? Do you want to, is that what you're in wrestling for, to get to that next level?
Absolutely. I think everybody who gets into wrestling wants to get to that next level, for the most part, at least. And I would love for it to happen. Someone asked, where do you hope to see yourself in 5 years? I'm like, if I'm not getting tryouts, at least being looked at. But because like I don't want to set a huge goal like that for 5 years, because it could take 10 years, it could take 20 years, you know. AJ Styles didn't go to WWE till he's in his 40s. So like you never know, you know. So like yeah, he of course he made famous everywhere else before going in, but still he didn't get to WWE till he's in his 40s. So like
Damian Priest, 37 years old before he got the rub he's getting now.
exactly. So like you never know. And you know, Capri got on Dynamite, and Capri's turning 50. So I mean,
Hey, don't
again,
sell us 50-year-old short. Ed's 50 years old, and he is a NWA superstar. So
yeah,
make sure we give Red his roses.
that was awesome to see him there. I was like, oh, what's up, man? You know, when I got to
he managed one of your own. He managed one of your guys, Mario.
Yeah, managed Mario, yeah. And then but that's another one, NWA. Like, look at all the guys who are on NWA right now. I got Yabo, Ruffle, Cody, Mario, Daisy. Like that's 5 Chicago area people. Red.
Hell, Mr. Kate was a tag team champion.
Mr. Kate, yeah, like all those. That's why I love that picture. We all like the picture that's on the screen. Rion showing like.
How did he forget Marche?
Marche, oh my God, I love Marche.
Marche's there at NWA, but you don't see him on TV right now.
Well, I mean,
but he's still there.
Right, Red. We don't see him on TV right now.
He's still there. He's
right,
still
Red.
There. Yeah, whatever.
There's a masked, stocky guy who looks very similar.
No, there is.
We'll never know.
That is absolutely not true. That is a fallacy. We don't talk about that here. Red, you have listened to the Moondog talk. I'm gonna give it to you to ask the hard questions about the past, and because this is where Red likes to go into your soul and reach deep down into your past and find out what makes you tick. So we're gonna let the urban sensation drive the bus for a minute.
Sure.
Ain't no sense in making me drive no bus. I crashed the way I feel tonight. No. Actually, I'm gonna skip all of that and just go straight to the roses.
Oh, right to the roses. He doesn't want to know about your past. He just wants to tell you how much he loves you.
I appreciate that. I think that's a big deal.
I saw this kid on, I think the first time was
It's crash tested.
No. So the year Ripper
Red, look at that picture. Holy shit, biscuit.
Wow.
Oh
what in the world?
How old was I? It was 2010.
I was not kidding about the deep dives.
Oh my God.
That's 2010. I was born in 98. So I think I was 12, 13. If my napkin math is right.
So that's what you look like without a beard, huh?
Yeah, it's not pretty. And then that was the picture we took 13 years later.
That's awesome. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Red. I when I saw that picture, I almost choked on my beverage.
Right. You know, like, oh wow, somebody really just dug deep into the archives. So it was the year that Ripper got inducted into the CSW Hall of Fame, I believe. So of course I'm there the whole show. I don't know if Greg knew who I was, but he was very cordial and polite. That always makes it good with the old guys. You know, when they come up, and if nothing else, they still show some sign of respect. And then we fast forward to crash test, and I forget who I was supposed to wrestle. And I'm told you're now wrestling Moondog. Literally, like, huh? And we talked, and I didn't have to worry if this kid was gonna hurt, because I knew where he came from. We come from the same tree. He was trained by Boz. I was trained by Boz. Damn, Boz, you've been just out here. What are you now? 75, 76? Just trying to
Oh,
figure it out.
you'd never say that to Boz's face.
I will. I
will
will.
not.
Shit, I will. Shit.
Come on.
I've said other things to Boz. Boz knows. But he was a true professional. Even down to the last time I saw him, nothing but the constant professional. Somebody that has been true to himself. And that is what I love about Greg. He has not, in the 2.5, 3 years he's been in the business, he has not changed his being. He has not changed who he is. What you see is what you get. Either you like it or you don't, and most people love it. He is a warm and loving human being. I love the fact, again, they do have that camaraderie, that brotherhood, that sisterhood in that class. That you see most of them now all over Chicago and other parts of the United States, and they are succeeding. And again, I think a big part of that is because they love each other and they love on each other, and they want the best for one another. Greg, you have something special. So again, please remember that. What got you that title on your shoulder? Again, you're not out there, you're not diving into a Dixie cup, you're not killing yourself with light bulbs and everything else. I personally think
not every day. There's some bloody Moondog pictures out there, my friend.
I know there have been a few, but what makes you you and what put that title across your shoulder is who you are, not only as a wrestler, but as a person. Never forget that. And I don't know if Steve notices, Rachel has noticed, Rion has noticed through social media, he hasn't got the big head. We've seen people, they get titles and then they start to believe their own damn hype, and then it's really a fast track to the bottom. But Greg has not done that. So please keep your head right where it is. Just stay consistent. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep traveling this country, wrestling in front of whoever will lay eyes on you. Again, it is about right place, right time. I was never one, and I'm gonna be honest. I've stated it before. I was never a WWE guy. Like, I never said when I started 20 years ago, oh, I'm going to WWE. Hell no. I had small kids at the time, a wife. I wasn't leaving that. And it took damn near 20 years for me to get into NWA. So, shit, never say never, I guess. But just keep driving, keep pushing forward. As Ed McMahon would say, keep shooting for the stars. And you, my friend, will achieve much success. I love you.
Love you. Thank you so much. That means the world to me. Thank you.
C-Red dishing out the roses. Okay, so let's turn it over to our gummy infused knockout, Rachel. Rachel, you've been listening. What do you want to ask the Moondog this evening?
I mean, I don't think there's anything to ask that hasn't been covered. I mean, what's next?
Oh, right now it's just getting to the end of the year. Like I said, I got plans to go up to California here soon, and then I know I'm supposed to be going back up to Michigan soon. I'm trying to break more into Wisconsin. I got the Fourth Wall. I got the bookings with Marman for Fourth Wall. I hit up a couple Indiana places. I just try to branch out, not just be in Chicago. There's I think at this point, if I messaged a promotion out of other than, the big top ones, I think for the most part, I could probably find myself a booking, but I don't want to be that big fish in a small pond. I want to be able to, travel abroad. So then those bigger promotions here in Chicago want to book me, so
I think that's a really healthy mindset to have, is because that, is challenging yourself and giving yourself room to grow.
Oh yeah. I don't get mad when places don't book me. I don't get mad when places don't respond to me. In fact, I'll get a maybe or a yes, and hell, if a promotion texts back not interested, I would say thank you for the honest response. I really appreciate that, actually, because most would just leave you unread. And there's nothing wrong with being left unread, because that doesn't necessarily mean they don't want you. It just means they can't, they might come back to you, or maybe they just forgot, or maybe they just don't have the room, or because the hardest thing is turning somebody down. You can only pretty up the word so much, but as the old saying, you put lipstick on a pig, at the end of the day it's still a pig. So but yeah, I just, like I said, the fact that I made it this far, and the fact that the places that have me now want to have me, and the places that want to bring me in or want to bring me in, I'm super thankful and appreciative, and hope they lead to more things for now. But that's the only thing that's really what's next, other than, defending the POWW championship. I'm trying to make the Rage in November to fight Kazile. First, I got to fight Jimmy Blaze in October, and then Eric Schultz is Saturday, though that's supposed to be non-title. So win, lose, or draw on that one, I should be okay. It's the one with Jimmy I got to get through. But other than that, I'm looking forward to what comes in next year for 2024, because I think there's going to be more stuff, big stuff. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is yet, but I just got that gut feeling.
Wow.
Yeah.
The Wrestle Rage champion.
Yeah.
Cool. Go ahead, Rachel. I'm sorry.
Oh, I was just gonna say, I hope I get to see you wrestle at some point.
Yeah.
Soon. I haven't seen you wrestle in a year. No, I saw you at Wrestle League, but before that, it had been a while since I've been able to see you at a show. So I'm just looking forward to seeing more of what you're gonna do.
I think before that it was IPW.
Yeah.
Yeah, if it wasn't IPW, it was Crash Tested, but I think it was IPW.
Yeah.
No, yeah, I'm trying to hit, like I said, hit up more places, and I'm sure, I have a feeling we'll cross paths eventually, because there's places I've been hitting up that Andy's wrestling in, so hopefully,
Fingers
that leads
crossed.
to that. Yeah.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed.
So now we know where you want to go, and we know what you're aiming for, and we know you're going to have a busy rest of the year. I want to know why you do this. I want to know what got you into wrestling?
Yeah.
We ask to just about everybody, and you're going to be no different.
Of course.
We all have that moment where wrestling became something more than just something to do on TV. Something you saw, something you heard somewhere inspired you to train, to work your ass off, to come into this business and try to make your mark. I'd be interested to know what that moment was for you.
So growing up, I always had the video games because my sister and her friends would always play the video games. So I'd always told myself if I ever find wrestling, I would love to watch it. So that happens September 2008. My dad's flipping through channels. It lands on Sci-Fi. And it's Tommy Dreamer versus Jack Swagger in a Extreme Rules match. And I've been hooked ever since. And I got to tell Tommy Dreamer that at CSW and gave him a big hug and thanked him for that. So pretty much then, I'd be watching the Raws and SmackDowns and ECWs the next couple of weeks. I'm like, I want to do this. I want to be a wrestler. Halfway through high school, I wasn't doing any sports, and I told myself, it goes, I don't think this is going to work. I don't think I'm going to be a wrestler. So I just gave up on the dream. I got into hair. I started cutting hair. I still cut hair, actually, as a day job. So it wasn't until 2020 when COVID happened and everything shut down. And, we lost everything. We lost concerts. We lost just to be able to go eat at a restaurant, get a hair, walk in for a regular haircut as opposed to getting an appointment, that sort of deal. We lost a lot of things we never thought you could lose, So at the time, as I stated before, I was 300 pounds. I wasn't working out. I wasn't doing anything. I was at my wit's end, we'll say. And after, I didn't go for it, but there was intentions, we'll say, but I didn't go through with it. So I think it was like a day or two later when when wrestling popped in my head again. I'm like, we lost everything, and it's slowly opening. It kind of half-assed. It was July of 21, I think, and I was like, I get this ad for this one place up in Woodstock all the time. Let's give that a try, see what happens. And I knew, because I was a super fan. I'm still a super fan. For like 10 years, I read the books. I read the books, watched all the old stuff, listened to all the podcasts, all that sort of stuff. And it's funny because, when you're strictly a fan, and this is nothing against fans, by the way, you kind of think, I know how this works. Then when I got into wrestling, I was like, wow, I did not know how this works at all. So I think you could come super close, but I don't think I don't even think I was even that close to what I think was you could go super close. But so yeah,
but I don't really know anything.
It was, so like I said, I was 300 pounds, no sports background. It was an uphill battle. So I hit the gym thinking, you know what? I'm big. I'll be that big guy who's got lungs, not realizing you can lose weight doing a ton of cardio. And I managed to drop, I went from 300 to 215. Problem was there's no muscle. There's nothing. I was a twig. So I was able to gain some weight back. And then now I'm where I'm at now, where instead of being like 240 of like flab, it's 240 of muscular flab kind of ish. I got shoulders, so I got shoulders now. The chest is looking better and such, and the back looks amazing, but of course they don't want the back facing the hard camera. So
there it is. There's the back.
There it is. See, so it's great looking back. I'd say, I'd put that up against Koa's back.
Right. All out. He'll make you go to that gym, dude.
Oh yeah. So I trained from July of 21 to January of 22 with the place in Woodstock. I wrestled for them weekly. They had a weekly promotion. Wrestled for them weekly, but eventually I read the tea leaves and like, yeah, this ain't it. So then I found CSW because they always trash talk CSW. So I wanted to find out, is CSW that bad? And I've been here ever since. So I would say no. They were just saying that so you wouldn't leave, because they wouldn't let you wrestle anywhere else but that promotion, which is fine when you're learning, I guess. But like at the same time, it's like that was what, 8 months of wrestling in front of 5 to 20 people every week, the same 5 to 20 people every week. So like, how much are you really learning? You know,
But POW and CSW,
yeah,
buildings are packed with people.
yeah, and they're different. Like there's some crossover, but like it's still different. Like I got getting used to that crowd, the CSW, the POW, the Damage, and all the other promotions. Getting used to that crowd and how they work. When I went up to Fourth Wall in Wisconsin, I tried my usual shtick. Flat, nothing. I was like, oh, okay. So it was a learning lesson. I'm like, you can't expect every crowd to react the same way to you. So now I learned. So that was a lesson of, if you're entering a new crowd, feel it out during the entrance, feel it out after the bell rings, and then go from there. You know, it was a valuable learning experience. I don't think you would have got had you stayed in the same place wrestling every weekend. It's great that you're wrestling every weekend, but you're wrestling every weekend in front of virtually very few people, and for no money, by the way. But so I think the transition was great. A lot of other people have left that same place, like Inestra and them. They all left, and look at Inestra now. Everyone who's seen Inestra is like, who the hell is this guy? Where did he come from? Not realizing he was wrestling like five years up in Woodstock, getting better and better and better wrestling wise and athletic wise. But again, he was only wrestling in front of the same crowd. Now that he's experiencing and learning as he goes, which he's a quick learner anyway, so like he picked it right up, and now he's shooting a superstardom. He's at AAW. He had the AEW tryout. He had the dark match. He was on NWA. It was a good place to start. I think I will give him that. It was a good place to start, but it wasn't a place to stay. But CSW on the other hand, great place to start and great place to stay, so far that I've experienced. But I still encourage everybody to try other places too. Like try the seminars, try a random school's classes. Cause we've had a couple freelance guys come to CSW to try a class or two just to see the difference. And it's interesting. Cause like, it's pretty neat to see people and they're like, oh, are you going to jump here? They're like, no, I just want to try. I just want to see another way of learning. I know Mateo's bounced around. Mateo's went to Wrestle League. He's went to the freelance school. Like he tries at different schools too. And I think it's so imperative to be like a sponge and absorb as much as you can, because you might learn something you weren't going to learn at the other school, at this school, that could work out. But yeah, that long-winded response. It was just, that's pretty much it. I was, to summarize, wit's end, said, you know what? I can give it a try. If it doesn't work out, I can be 50 years old and say, you know what? I tried. It just didn't work out. But it's been 2.5 years, and I'd say it's been working out. Yeah. So I would say it's been working out, and then there's no signs of slowing down and no signs of giving up just yet. Even when I get down on myself, like I said, by the end of the day, end of the week, I'm still happy to be here, and I still love making the occasional God, I love wrestling on my social media, which always gets a big reaction, because like, how can you not? As frustrating as it gets, you still love it by the end of the day.
You still love it. You gotta love it. And
exactly.
We're gonna welcome onto the show our technical engineer, who is a little late tonight, the one PX. How you doing, Pat?
Well, I'm doing good considering none of my coworkers shoved me on my ass today.
That's fair. We'll talk about that in a little bit. Let's talk a little bit about Effie's Big Gay Brunch, because I know that was a very important happening, and now we've had a couple of them.
Yeah.
Tell us why that is as important as it is, because it, to me, is very important, especially in 2022, 2023, where we're at now. Talk about experiences there.
It's pretty much the big showcase of LGBT wrestlers flown in from the country, or other countries like and such. It's a big super card for LGBT wrestlers that everybody wants to get on, because like Chicago's had a couple Pride shows this year, and it's not top to bottom LGBT wrestlers. It's pretty much whatever they can find in Chicago, sprinkled in with whatever roster that show was running, which is fine. It's at the end of the day, I'm like, hey, I'm still happy to wrestle here, because I got to do the POW one, the Wrestle League one, and the All-Star Lucha one. But the Big A Brunch, how that happened was Mateo and Joey were booked last year, and I rode with them to the show. Had my gear because it's always been instated in my head. Always bring your gear.
Always.
I know guys who go to AEW shows as fans whose gear is in their car because you never know, in case they grab the rando from the crowd and go, guess who's wrestling tonight? But again, that's just how it is. It's instilled in us. Bring your gear if you're going to a wrestling show. So like zero regrets on that. So I say hi to everybody. See Brett Lauderdale, say hi. Of course, he's gotten the handshake. They ran a whole weekend that weekend. He's probably shaking so many hands, probably like, hey, yeah, that's nice. He goes, hey, I'm here to help. I goes, oh, okay, yeah, go grab those chairs. Sounds good. Run and do whatever. Then Effie shows up. I said, hello, sir. Nice to meet you. And he goes, hey, Lily, he shakes. He goes, do you have your gear? Yeah. All right, I got you. I got a spot for you. Oh, okay. So I ran and grabbed my stuff, and Joey and Mateo were like, wait, what? So I didn't tell anybody. I texted Hades, Boz, and Axel. Axel was at the show. The building, the reception of that building sucks, so he didn't even get to see it. He didn't know until I walked out that I was on the show. A lot of people did. The only people and Sky knew, because Sky was there to watch the show. So it was a huge surprise. That's where that video of Shelly screaming on the chair comes from. Was she had no idea I was wrestling. She knew I was there, but she thought I was just helping out in the back or something. So I got put in that scramble, and again, super fun. Everything went good. Scramble matches are what they are. They're entertaining car crashes, and thankfully it was an entertaining car crash and nobody got hurt. So that's what I say is a successful scramble. So then this year, I got booked for the 8-man, and I felt like I belonged last year, but in this case it was, I was booked in advance. So I definitely belong. So, but again, I think you might get the gist of what I mean by that. It was me, Mateo, Joey, and Shelly versus the team East Coast, all the New York peeps, which I seen Logan Black and Sazzy Boatwright before online and at another show. And I was super excited to fight him. It was a hard-hitting match, because boy, did I when I left there, I was beat up. But it was fun. It was worth it. It was a big showcase for, again, someone like me who's only 2.5 years in, and I'm on GCW, which is probably the number one indie in the US right now. Because the tours all around, So I had the match. I was doing a double shot that day too, because brunch was at noon, POW's at 7. Of course I could do both. Had a hard-hitting match in that 8-man, and boy, was I beat up leaving it. Then I went to POW, had another hard-hitting match with Meat Hooks, who threw me around.
Meat Hooks. Want to mess with that? Dude's got some power.
Yeah, he's ridiculously strong. Like, he threw me like I was nothing, and it was amazing. I'm very happy with how that match turned out. But yeah, definitely 2 hard-hitting matches in one day. I was and then working a 9 to 5 the next day. I was pretty beat up, but it was worth it. Again, only in wrestling. And yes, there's that picture of me getting thrown. He chucked me. It was awesome. I don't know what it is, but like, it's exciting. The fact that like, it's also humbling, because like, people consider me as a bigger guy, and then when I get my ass thrown like I'm 90 pounds, again, it's like, okay, that don't happen often. It's invigorating almost. But yeah, definitely, it's a huge deal, those brunch shows, and I hope to be on many more.
Do you feel that the world of professional wrestling is doing enough to embrace and promote
Yeah.
LGBTQT wrestlers? Do you think enough is being done? Do you feel like it's still kind of murky here and there? What are your thoughts on that in wrestling right now? Because I know I've been places where, you know, it's totally the norm and totally fine. And
Yeah.
then I places where, you know, you get a few performers and it's like they don't know how to react to them.
Yeah.
What are your experiences?
It's, I think I'll take how it's being accepted now compared to 10 years ago.
Oh yeah.
From the stories I've heard from Joey Mayberry, I think it's in a better place, and now it's on the performer, because okay, you're an LGBT talent, and it's good to have on a roster for a variety of races, colors, creeds, that sort of deal. Now it's on you to be as good as a performer as our other guys, because like nothing's given in wrestling, nothing is given in wrestling. So like now when they're given that platform, it's like, all right, show us why you belong, and be the best wrestler that you can be. And it's exciting, I think. But like for me, Joey Mateo, for the most part, to be on all these different shows is really cool representation wise. But I think it's also neat because like I'm kind of losing my train of thought, but yeah, pretty much, yeah, I would say I think its representation is pretty good right now. Could it be better? Well, yeah, everything could be better. But like honestly, like I said, I'll take now compared to how it was a few years ago. Any day of the week,
Do you feel like, for you, Joey and Mateo, are you educating and teaching people? Because I know one of the truly great things for me about working with Mateo and Joey and you is what I learn each time I do it.
Yeah.
Never worked with LBGQT performers until I was involved when we came back from pandemic and Mateo made his debut at CSW. And listening to him talk about his experience and what he wanted out of it, and then listening to Joey and listening to you, and I've worked with a few others here and there. I feel like it's made me a better person because I understand something now better that I didn't understand before. And I feel like it's just enriched my experience, not only in the business, but out in the world. Is that something that you guys are trying to do, maybe even subconsciously?
For me personally, if you come up to me and ask me questions, I'll answer them. But I'm not someone who walks in the locker room and go, "Hey guys, it's time for gay 1-on-1." Like, no, I don't do that. Like, but like if someone comes, like, I won't say who, but when I was wrestling up in Janesville, a vet comes up to me and starts asking me questions. Like, what does daddy mean? What does mommy mean? I'm just like, I'm like looking at this man who's like twice my age. I'm just like, and I explained it the best I can. And then I remember he texted me the next day. He goes, "Did I make you uncomfortable asking that?" I'm like, "No, I was like, what?" I laughed. I was like, "Oh, okay." It was like, I think it's weird because like some people are like, when they come up to you, they kind of dance around the question. He went in and just asked. And I appreciate that a lot, actually. He just asked, goes, "So what is this exactly?" I'm like, "Oh, okay, well, it's this." But like, if someone comes up to me and asks a question, because like I'm pansexual. What is that? Well, it's bi, but with extra flavoring. Pretty much it's just that's usually my excuse, but or my answer, not excuse. But like that's pretty much like the gist of my teachings if someone comes up and asks. But other than that, it's like I just walk in, I'm one of the people, one of the boys, and just doing my own thing. Because like, there's always that one person, "Oh, don't force it down," but which I'm not. I'm not. But I've had people just see my rainbow bandana and be like, "Ooh," I'm like, "It's a bandana, relax," But like, I just kind of laugh. Some people get like very upset with stuff like that. I just laugh because I'm like, relax, man. What the, because like, I think that's just how I was raised. It's just pretty much like just take it on the chin and just laugh about it, other than just like lose your mind over it. Like, just keep your chin up, work hard and such like that. But yeah, that's pretty much, that'd be how I would handle stuff like that.
Yeah, Red has talked an awful lot and has spoken on tolerance and being to each other, just being good regardless of anything many times on this show. And it's just great to be able to experience what you bring to wrestling, which I think is amazing. And since day one that I've seen you work, I've always been a fan of not only your gimmick but the way you work and how nice you are. And I just want the best for everybody. And I'm so happy to see you sitting there with that strap, because I know how hard you work. I know what you've been through. I know the struggles you've had. And for you to sit there as POW Entertainment's champion, all of us that work hard and would like to see better days and better things, it's hope. It's hope, because we know what you sacrificed and what you did to get where you are, and you're just at the precipice. It's endearing, it's hopeful, and it's what makes you special.
Thank you. I really appreciate that a lot.
My pleasure. Believe me, I appreciate it way more than you do. Pac-Man, do you have any questions for the Moondog?
You know what? I do. I came in right about the part where you were talking about reading wrestling books, which is honestly how when I started watching wrestling, learned more about the business.
Yeah.
So I guess my question for you is, like, what have been your favorite wrestling books that you
Mick Foley's first book? That's like, you have to read that. That's God, yeah. If you're a wrestler, you have to read that book. It's thick, but you gotta read it. Like, are you sure? Yeah, you gotta.
I read it. Just I remember when I first bought. Matter of fact, I bought it the day it came out, and I didn't expect such a huge book. I'm thinking, oh, probably 30, 40 pages. I'm buying it as a fan.
Yeah.
Run to the bookstore, and I'm like, shit, this is like that's when I got back into reading. Because it was so goddamn thick. It was like shit, but it was entertaining to read.
Oh yeah.
But go ahead. I'm sorry, but
no. The whole book is a ride. Bret Hart's book, which is even bigger and longer than Mick Foley's book. That's a really good one too, because just how vastly detailed it is. Jericho's first book's amazing. I've been reading right now. I'm reading Ric Flair's first book, or his. I think he's got another book coming out, but I've been reading Flair's book, and such a good book. Like, Flair's book is so good, so far. And then there's, which I think is the ones that I wasn't a fan of. Rereading Piper's first book was. I love Piper to death. He's one of my favorite. He could be a storyteller, unfortunately, but that's why I love that second book, because his family wrote it. And they weren't afraid to say, yeah, that was a story, but here's what actually happened. And here's, and such. But I wouldn't say like I hated it. Like I frisbee the damn thing. Like, no, it wasn't like that. It was just like, it's a lot of stories, and like some of the timeline wasn't matching up. If you know Piper's like career retrospective, this sort of deal. But no, yeah, Mick Foley's first book is the favorite, like number one. Everybody's trying to be that book. I would say
that was the first book I think I read. I was in high school. That one's always stuck out to me. Brett's book I've read as well. That's one I want to read again all these years later. Such a good book.
Yeah.
So that's the lesson here, kids. Read a little bit. It's good for your mind, and it'll make you understand the business a little bit more. One of my favorite books, since we're talking about him, is I really enjoyed The Rock's first book. Before he became actor Dwayne Johnson and all of the stuff that he's doing, that first wrestling book, I read that thing cover to cover in a day and a half, because it was so engaging. Every second that I wasn't doing something in life, I was reading that book, because I was fascinated by the stories he would tell. And, obviously we've gotten a TV show loosely based on that particular book, but it's a really great read, you know, when he was a wrestler, not necessarily a megastar. So I would recommend that book if you can find it. It's hard to find these days.
Of course, my of course, it's Shawn Michaels, both books. So matter of fact, in the divorce, I think it's the only thing I kept, which is crazy. If anybody ever saw my collection,
you lost so much cool shit in your divorce.
I truly did. I truly did.
It's an underlying of this show, Greg, is how much shit the C-Red has lost over the years.
Oh,
But when you look at what I lost, it's like, okay, that I have no qualms about. I appreciate that I kept those two books.
yeah.
And there's a Ryan Matthews timeout.
At our first out of the evening, this timeout brought to you by Ryan Matthews. Rian, this is your first timeout. You only get 3. Now you only have 2. What is your question? I did see that, right?
I was muted. Sorry, it's not a question. I was just going to mention a book for Moondog and for Peck. DDP's book, if you could find it.
Oh, okay.
Very interesting way as far as how he got into the business itself.
Yeah.
And what he did beforehand. Which I feel like the two of you would appreciate because it's not the normal story.
Right.
If you get a chance, check that one out. I know it's under WCW contract moniker, however you want to look at it. But DDP's book that he has. It is a very, very deep, very good deep dive into how the business was running against WWE, as well as how he was able to just deal with everything starting so late in the game. I figured if anyone would be able to appreciate it, it would be yourself.
Absolutely. Definitely got to get that now.
All right. And I will casually go away.
There. He comes and goes as he pleases. He's got that right. Greg, you have given us one hell of an entertaining hour, much better than the 20-second run-in you did the last time around.
Thank you.
Where they can see you work in the coming weeks.
Yes. Of course, I dropped my phone, or my cat's sitting on it, one of the two. But oh, here it is. Off the top of my head, this Friday, CSW in Franklin Park. POW this Saturday at Wooddale at T-Wood.
Don't become one of TJ Steele's minions, please, for the love of God.
No intentions. No intentions at all. Saturday the 23rd, I'll be up at Janesville for Janesville Wrestling Alliance. Sunday the 24th, I'll be in Woodstock for All Heel Wrestling. And then Friday the 29th, Fourth Wall Wrestling up in Milwaukee at the La Pica Lounge. And then that is my schedule for September. A little lighter than usual, but like I remember back in January, if I had a light schedule, I'd be like, man, what have I done? What do I do? Now at this point of the year, when I see a light schedule, I'm like, oh, thank God. I can relax. I can rest.
Heel Wrestling, I really like what they're doing. How do you like working at All Heel?
Brad is a great guy. His kid scares me. Brad has told me his kid, I apparently inspire his kid, which I think is awesome. The only issue is what's inspiring him was that street fight back in February. And when Brad told me that, I texted back, so this is how McFoley feels.
Picture, Rian, find the bloody picture. We have to have the bloody.
There's the drinking picture. But
drinking a beer right there, but I know the picture's out there because I think I used it in the show graphic because it's such a departure from what you do normally. I was fascinated by it.
Someone asked if I was doing death matches from now. I'm like, hell no. No, that is not going to be a regular thing. Absolutely not.
Searches for the blood picture. How did you get yourself mixed up in that sort of thing?
The street fight, it was me and Kazile were having a big feud up in Rockford. And
that dude in the fork, I swear to God.
Oh yeah, I love him to death. So it was me. Scott Spade attacked us on the October show of 22, and inserted himself in the Rockford street fight for the February show last year. And it was one of those deals where Kazile hits me with a fork, and then the blood comes down, and it comes down more. Then it comes down more. Then it wouldn't stop coming out. I'm like, oh no. So hats off to Chris Hedford, the ref, because the entire time he's asking, are you okay? Yes, I'm okay. He goes, just relax, breathe. Okay. So because of Chris, I was so mellow during that whole affair. I was not freaking out. I was not worried about what comes next. I was in the moment, breathing and relaxing. And because if I was not at that level, I probably would have passed out because the amount of blood I lost. The promoter was pissed because his canvas was ruined, his turnbuckle pads were ruined, and that's all he seemed to care about. So I was kicked off the show for about a day and a half, and then he said, no, come back in May. I'm like, okay. But that's how I got that. Would I do, if I had a chance to do it again, would I do it again? Absolutely. Like do it over, as in like, if you could rewind at that moment, would you do it again? Like,
look at that crimson mask.
Yeah, it was bad. Oh, it was bad. My whole family were there.
How did they react to the fact? I mean, that's a hot mess.
My parents knew it was real. When I called my grandma the next morning to tell her I was okay, she was like, wait, that was real? I'm like, well, yeah. She's like, how are you breathing right now? I was like, yeah. And best part, I wrestled a show the next day too. I just patched it. I super glued it, put some butterflies on it, tightened my bandana, and I wrestled a tag match the next day.
Oh, and didn't get any stitches or staples or anything?
Nope, super glue.
Super glue and butterflies.
Yep. And for a while, that's
the name of this episode.
Super glues and butterflies.
And butterflies, an evening with the Moondog.
Oh yeah, and there's my grandma right there. That call that was in shock. But yeah, the scar didn't seem like it was going away, but now as I look in the mirror, I'm having a harder time to find it. So I guess it's somewhat healing. But what we were talking about before, the AHW. But yeah, they run 4 to 5 times a year, which is a pretty cool gig. They run Sundays, which again, cool gig because not many people run Sundays, so it's an easier to say yes. And Joey Mayberry needs a tag partner, and he has yet to call me. So I hope he decides to call me so him and I can challenge Country Air for the tag titles there. But I'm still waiting on that call, Joey Mayberry. I'm right here. Come on, man.
All right,
what you doing?
And this later, we'll make him listen to this. God, I love Country Air too. That would be one match.
Absolutely, they are amazing. They're like the best tag team out of Wisconsin right now.
They are pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Moondog, we appreciate your time tonight. You have been an excellent guest, as I knew you would be. We will have you back down the road so we can continue to follow your journey, because it's just so good for us here to talk to people that are just so good for this business. You make this business better, and we all know it. We all recognize it, and we all appreciate it.
Thank you. I appreciate everybody's kind words today. That was, I was expecting a conversation. I wasn't expecting a love fest, and I appreciate the love, because it's something I need to hear every now and again.
Like our mission in this life is to make everybody understand why the people that do this in our area are special, and you are certainly on that list. And I hope the other promotions open up their eyes and see what you can bring to a show, because I've been working with you for a long time now and I know what you bring to a show. And any show that you're working on is better than it would be without you. So keep plugging, keep doing your thing. And I think before long, the world will know what we know here in Chicago.
I hope so. Thank you, sir.
All right, that's the Moondog. We're going to let you go. We've got other things to talk about, so you can log off and have a good evening, and we will talk to you next time around.
Thank you so much. Talk to you guys later.
That is
Good
the
night, Moondog.
buddy Greg Murray. You can see him this Friday night at Chicago Style Wrestling. How awesome is that, dude?
Is it gonna be on IWTV or do I have to wait?
Oh, there is no IW. Well, it will eventually be on IWTV.
Okay.
No, listen, we don't want to anger Hades. It's a whole thing. It'll be better next year, but right now, we just got In the Heat of the Night up on IWTV, and the one that we had last month will be there soon as well. The good news is Big D is going to be working on the next show, the show we have Friday night, Click, Click, Boom, Boom. So that is going to be a special kind of presentation as only Big D can do. So, it will be there eventually, kids. But right now it's a bit of a thing, and we're not going to talk about it because I don't want to get in trouble. I get in trouble too much as it is anyway. Man, did we have a weekend, Red? Rion, Rachel, Pac-Man, what a weekend, huh?
You talking to us, but Pac-Man is the one his picture says it all, right?
Pac-Man, you're a champ. You're an award winner, and you got your ass kicked.
I did apparently get my ass handed to me by one Damian Gray. I'm still very upset about it, but really quickly, just want to direct your eyes to my picture. The LIM won 2 Nova Awards. And, again, thank you to everybody who voted for us and supported us and voted for us for Rowdy's fan group and Smiley McGee winning funniest moment of the year.
Those were
I will say you're welcome, because I never vote in these things and I did go in and vote for you.
I appreciate you.
I have to tell you something about the Nova Awards. I have never been so relieved to have not won something. Not that I didn't love our match against Joey and Roxy. Not that that wasn't one of the great experiences of my life. But if we would have won over Avalon and Wittick, the way that match was and how awesome it was, I had talked to Shelly prior to the show, and we had already decided we were going to withdraw our match from consideration and give it to them, because we're a special attraction. It was fine. But those guys put their bodies on the line, their careers on the line for that crowd, and it was amazing. So Joey and Quinn, or Avalon and Quinn, won the award, well deserved, and I'm very, very pleased that they took home the trophy. And Christian receiving it was pretty cool too. So hey, I love the Nova Awards. I thought that was a hell of a thing.
It was a lot of fun. Fan access. I definitely enjoyed doing fan access again.
Here's something that I thought was that was interesting, and we commented on it. You said was the unusually long acceptance speech of Smiley McGee.
So he planned that all out if he was going to win. He really did not like that water bottle. And I think he wanted to make a statement to make that point perfectly clear. And I mean, let's be honest. I think he was pretty clear with that point.
Yeah. I mean, it was a moment, and there were a lot of moments in fan access. The Idols came out. Joey and Roxy were there. There were shenanigans. It was. I wish more of the fans had actually come out to it, because, after the show is over, everybody's changing and trying to go home. At Fan Access, it's 2 hours prior to the show, and everybody was out there. The Coyotes were out there, the Idols were out there, Maximus Orion was out there, Rion Skill, Turtle was out there. Everybody that had a big part of the show was out there. And the fans that took advantage of it got autographs, got to talk. We saw a ridiculous new faction form. So next year, the LIM is going to have a run for its money with the now indoctrinated Fabulous Idolizers, which is my least favorite fan group.
I have a lot to say about that. I just want to make this point because I was reading Nani's post that she posted in the Rocket Pro fan group, and she listed the idols. There was somebody missing from that list. If you're a fan of the idols, how could you forget my dad, Flash Harris?
Right. Flash was a complete no-show. Turns out Flash Harris, the only member of the Idols with the good sense not to show up.
I mean, it was his birthday.
Well, yay.
Celebrate his birthday.
Whatever it took to keep him out of the line of fire. One of my favorite moments of the entire Fall Brawl was when Damian Gray tried to take liberties on old C Red here and found out the hard way you don't fuck with a legend, because C Red cold cocked that sumbitch right upside his head and knocked him the fuck out. I mean, I feel like Ice Cube and Chris Tucker. I was like, damn.
Thank you, C Red, in case I haven't said, for defending me, because what Damien did was way out of line.
And that's what it's about, in a sense. Damian Gray has been out of control for a few months now. And you would have thought, he would have had time to cool down. But I guess not. And he will find out, just like his favorite show, Happy Days, he too can be canceled. And I have no problem being the one to cancel his ass. There comes a time we have to remember this is called professional wrestling, and you have to be a professional. And to put your hands, there's one thing to talk shit. He talked shit a few months ago. Took liberties.
POWW too.
I know, and that's what I'm saying. Like, he's been taking liberties, period. But to put your hands, whether you like him, them, or not, you put your hands on my grandson. And a lot of people might think, oh, that's bullshit. He's really not your grandson and this, then. First of all, if the LIM has taken the time to call me grandfather,
and now
that means a lot. And now I'm a member, but that means a lot. And that means that we're family. So you don't put your hands on my family. Then you decide you want to be a Billy Badass and come put your hands on me. And Damien has already lost to me once. And then he found out, the hard way. Why do people keep thinking I'm some old ass? Like, I still don't have any fight left in me. I get it. Everybody knows, insert Boys to Men song here. I'm coming toward the end of the road, but I will still whoop somebody's ass. I will go until I can't go anymore. So especially for PAC and for the LIM, you know, they have my complete support. And yeah, yeah, we're looking at the irony in the picture that Rion just posted. It's not Rion. It's not Rion. It's look who's behind Rion, and that's more intimidating than
Why is Simp looking at Rion's butt? Is my question right there.
I don't know. I mean, the thing is, that dude is a man of many mysteries. Many mysteries maybe I don't want to solve.
Right.
But apparently, you know, from the conversation we had at the Lovely Intoxicated Induction 2 Electric Boogaloo, he's got a month to prove himself that I can trust him. So we're going to see if he's going to be able to. I mean, Tony Gabagool wasn't there to vouch for him. The rest of the guys don't seem as familiar with him. So that was the best way I could think to do it. He wants to be a member. He did get laid. I mean, that good for him. But
I didn't get laid.
I didn't either.
not laid. I mean, that's good for him. But he's got to prove himself to me.
You know, when you cold cocked Damian Gray and then the Idols tried to strike and we kind of rallied behind you. That is one of the moments that I will never forget. Richard got a really good picture of me standing behind you and as we backed the Idols down. And you know, like I said, it was a long, hard fight to get C-Red to finally come to Rocket Pro. And I'll be goddamn if we're going to let him be driven out by the asshats. It's not going to happen. I fought him once. I'll fight him again. And there is no way that I won't have Reds back through whatever happens next.
Well,
whatever the cost.
Here's my thing. And I stated it last week. I stated it all weekend long. Why did they show up? Like, you already, like, you're not as solid as you. First of all, as much as I love Joey Roth as a person,
Couldn't.
I have to start to question some of his tactics. Again, by signing over general management to Damian Saint. That's issue one. Issue two. In May, you got your whole crew got decimated. Your entire crew. And you showed up to Fall Brawl for what? To not only lose a member publicly that we all saw the shirt burn, but then lose to said member. And then I bitch slap another.
And then after you did the bitch slap and we chased those assholes back behind the curtain out of the building.
Well, they thought they would. Hey, if you feeling froggish, come on and jump this way. Yeah. That's all I'm going to say. If you feeling froggish, jump this way. Again, you're going to have to kill me. And more importantly, Damian Gray. Again, keep fucking with me, and I'm going to take that phony switchblade comb you got, and I'm going to shove it straight up your ass.
Why, we could get one of those switchblade combs on the back of a comic book circa 1984. That's true.
And if can I address Damian Gray real quick?
Why not?
Because I know he's going to be listening, because I told him to make sure to listen and to listen close to what I have to say.
Works.
So, Damian, here's the thing, man. You and I, we have a lot of history. We go back to the neighborhood. You forget the one thing about me And that is no matter how many times you can shove me down, each and every damn time, I'm going to keep getting up. So if you want to do that again, if you want to keep this dance going and try to recreate that old history from when we were back in the neighborhood, by all means, I guess. But don't underestimate me either, because if you underestimate me, that's going to be a major mistake on you, pal.
Pac-Man, I love your enthusiasm, but speaking out of experience, sometimes when you feel like, you will always get up again, somebody knocks you down and you don't get up again. So I love you. I hope to see whatever happens next, but just be careful when it comes to the idols, because they have no class and they may do stupid things. So I just don't want to see you get hurt.
Oh, I mean, I've watched them. I mean, I haven't gone face to face with them like I did Saturday. And I mean, I was definitely caught off guard by the shove because, traditionally in a wrestling, I stayed on my side of the barricade. I didn't physically provoke Damian Gray, which I know that's a big general no-no, but he did another general no-no by shoving me.
It's true. Just the idols have no class. The idols have no code. Just watch yourself, because I've been on the business end of an idol attack, and it's not a pleasant thing.
I'll be watching out for it, Steve.
What a show we had on Saturday in Joliet. The only person that didn't really have a good night, unfortunately, was the Amazing Turtle. He won his match, and it was a hell of a match against the Ryan Matthews and Buck Nasty Bucky Collins. But as soon as the match was over, he wasn't really stripped of the title so much as the title was removed due to a litigation situation that Damian Saint forgot, which is total bullshit. Total bullshit. A man that has had 10 sellout shows and is meticulous down to the fucking nook and cranny of detail forgot to file an injunction. I call bullshit, Damian Saint. You fucked up and you ruined Turtle, and it's not fair. And then they took Turtle out, and Damian Saint, our general manager, choked him out with a cane. So, Red, I know you defended me a little bit by going after Turtle after the show was over. But Turtle didn't deserve any of what happened to him on Saturday, did he?
I mean, he didn't. And again, so I'll publicly state here, Turtle, I apologize. But you had it coming.
He did have it coming, but
so
apologies are good here, because Turtle got screwed over by that bastard Damian Saint. And
I mean, he totally. First of all, it was uncalled for,
and he got by that whack job Davison Sarai. She's lucky.
Dude, but again, that's what I'm trying to figure out. Okay, even if all of this is legit, right? Again, why did you need to bring 6 to 7 people out to take a title?
Why is Sarai now part of the undeniable?
Are you shocked?
No,
who sent No Coast to therapy?
Yeah, that's fair.
Mm-hmm.
That's fair.
So that means Saint had to already know who she was, what she was capable of, and that part I wasn't shocked. I was more shocked by the bounce check J-Beck.
Yeah,
and his wannabe excuse of he has seen the light and he will follow what the hell? So the undeniable is a cult now?
Well, I mean, J-Beck is probably damaged like anybody that's been, kidnapped and sequestered away from everybody to do the bidding of an egomaniacal maniac like Saint. But what Sarai did to Turtle, that's disturbing. And she and I have had our issues in the past. it's going to get really bad if she continues down this road. She doesn't want that. And the
Yeah, but again, okay, so she beats down Turtle, right? Okay, for no reason, but then Saint feels like it was okay to then put a cross face on Turtle using a cane. Like, what was the point of that? Like, the man's already down. Like, what point are you trying to prove? I have no idea.
Bought the idols, will fight the undeniable. We will not let Rocket Pro go to any kind of radical extremist groups. We dispatch the idols in May. We'll dispatch the undeniable if we must. And Sarai, stay away from commentary. You don't want none. After that nonsense happened, we had a one of my favorite matches of the night was the Hawaiian Hitman Kolak Samana with Kayleese whipping the ass of the scumbag attorney. That was just an ass whipping, a good old fashioned ass whipping.
Yeah, but again, and I said this on commentary, right? Now he can come out and help jump Turtle, right? But where was the undeniable when he was getting his ass handed to him?
The undeniable wants no part of the Red Wave Army. That is a legit NWA superstar, and Damian Saint decided to relax a little bit because he didn't want any part of getting laid by Laxman and Kalis. They were on a mission, and they beat Schultz down and beat him down bad.
Hey, which he deserves. So, I mean, you get no sympathy from me.
After
kudos to Koa.
Yeah, kudos to Koa, no doubt about it. I just watched him on NWA.
Yep.
And what a great thing NWA is turning into. It's just amazing. Then Roth and Hart and the rest of the fabulous idiots came out and they postured and they called out Johnny Nye, and that didn't go how they thought, but it did end up creating a match for later in the night, which we'll talk about in a minute. So after the idol nonsense occurred, we had the Outer Limits Championship. And that might have been one of my that was a hell of a match between Shaq Jordan and Connor Hopkins. And we had Christian Rose on commentary, and that didn't go quite right, did it?
I keep telling you, Steve, and I'm trying to get it through your head. He ain't. Something is off, bro.
Yeah,
something is off, and I think my evidence will be proven later on when we get to something else. But he said, "Oh, we're a cohesive unit, and we're fine." Things are all not what they seem with those damn Coyotes.
Yeah, you keep warning me about Christian Rose, and Christian and I have done a lot of commentary together. We've done work in podcasts. We've done I contribute to the Coyote Corner. I feel like he and I are cool, and I feel like we're cool enough where I can hit him with honest questions. I'm not pulling punches with him. Inquiring minds want to know. And I don't think, anything's going to happen. I mean, he answered my questions, and he wasn't happy with all of them, but that's the kind of man that he is. I mean, yeah, he's distracted with the things that are going on for the idols. And he very clearly cost the idols the tag team titles. We'll talk about that in a minute. Yeah, maybe he's a bit disturbed. Maybe he's a little deranged. Maybe he's not all there, but he's still Christian Rose, and he's my friend, and I'm going to ask him the tough questions like I would anybody else.
Okay.
But Hopkins versus Jordan was a hell of a match.
Great match.
Moonsault, where Shaq Jordan got so high he kicked the light off the fixture.
Oh my God! Like, I didn't think that was possible. I really didn't.
God, was he up there suspended in space or what?
Like, when he kicked it, it was like, I think all of us had that look like, did he just kick the light out? Like, okay, all right. I've never seen that done before.
That is why I love the generational treasure, and Rachel can attest to this because she is very fond of Shaq Jordan. That guy can do anything, and he usually does, and does it in very entertaining fashion. Right, Rachel?
Right.
The gummies.
Right.
Gummies have taken her away.
That is 100%
No, I
correct. I was in the middle of a merge game. That is 100% correct.
You love the generational treasure.
I do. He's a great guy. He's a great wrestler. And if you're not booking Shaq Jordan, you're an idiot, and I'm not going to take that back.
That's Rachel at her best right there. If you don't book Shaq Jordan, you're an idiot. So there you go. For all you out there that aren't booking Shaq Jordan, you better get to it. Hopkins did win the title. He did best Shaq Jordan on this night, but I would love to see that match run back. And then Christian Rose left commentary to participate in the triple threat match, Rocket to the Top briefcase qualifier against Gunnar Brave and Hartenbauer, who made his debut at Rocket Pro Wrestling. And who showed up on commentary during that match?
Connor Hopkins.
That's right. So what's good for the goose is good for the gander. And although he was the smallest dog in the fight, Gunnar Brave does what Gunnar Brave does as the King of the North, and he won that match. And that did not sit well with old evil Christian Rose, did it?
No, because I the beginning of the match told you they, meaning Christian Rose and Hartenbauer, like they weren't even concerned with Gunnar. Like Gunnar was just there. Like, dude, let the men handle this. And Gunnar held his own, especially in the what I call necro butcher beer drinking segment. They found out, okay, well, both of y'all, and I think Gunnar was the smarter one because he realized, okay, whatever issues that they've had, whether it's present or past, let them hash it out. I'm gonna take this win and get out of here. And again, Christian Rose showed his Christian roadness. I'm starting to think I should be calling him Christian Wild Irish Rose.
How about Hartenbauer, though? I mean, dude,
impressive debut. Very impressive.
Performer Hartenbauer. So that match was one for the books. Then we had, and we're going to ask Rion to kind of get involved in this discussion because it came time for Maximus Orion and Rion Skills to do their dance. And, it started with a very, very intense promo. And the match came in and Maximus comes down and Rion comes down and Rion does his out, in. But on the third try, Maximus snuck out of the ring and snuck up behind him. And that's how our match started. And I would just like to give kudos to Rion Skills because that match was a hell of a thing. It told a hell of a story. And Rion looked like a young man fighting again. I thought that was it was a tremendous match. What do you say, Red?
I don't know what you need Rion to say. Again, I told you before. I saw the point he was trying to prove when it came to Maximus. A lot of people didn't. But I think at May, Kicks on 66, I think Maximus' eyes kind of opened and understood, if you're the justice of Rocket Pro,
Oh, man,
you need to make a statement.
he doesn't like that.
But hey, it's almost what people are expecting of him, right?
Yeah.
So, now, I don't know for him if it's business, personal, or what have you, but I still don't think that the student has understood that the teacher is still the teacher. He hasn't taught you everything. So he kind of found out the hard way, but then we had some shenanigans go on.
A lot of the former Ryan Matthews.
And again, so now the question is, was that done? And we're sure that that's we're doing that. That's the thing now. Okay, as Rion will say, that's the thing. Okay, it's the thing. All right, it's the thing. Was that a play from the Undeniables to save the title so they could go after Rion, or was that a play to go after Maximus and make a statement? I mean, it can go either way. Yes, the attack was on Maximus, but do they feel Rihanna's an easier prey, or do they feel Maximus is right for the picking and they fear Maximus, right?
Yeah. Only time will tell. Rion, speak about the match you were in, if you want to. I don't want
you. Go ahead.
I want you to do flips. I just want to hear what you thought.
All right. How far down the rabbit hole you want me to go?
Go down the rabbit hole if you must. I'm just. It was a hell of a match. I just want you to talk about it. You were there.
Yeah, it didn't hurt. I still got a couple bruises that, for some odd reason, keep showing up. I don't understand it, but it is what it is. Hold on 1 second. Are you able to be still? Hello?
What? I didn't hear you.
Can you hear me?
Now I can hear you.
Okay, wonderful. I have been very vocal as far as explaining my actions while not actually explaining certain things, because I've been very clear on keeping Damien safe in the dark. As I told him, your secret is safe for me. But now he's just doing whatever he wants to do. All that I've asked Maximus to do is pay attention. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less. And I've been very clear, not just with this match, but just me wrestling in general. That if you can't handle me, there's going to be someone way stronger that's going to be out there waiting. And I'll just be the first one to say it. I watched this undeniable thing happen from the back. And I've been very clear. Maximus, you need to watch what's happening around you. They will take your company from you. That's it. Nothing else. If I have to be the bad guy in order for that to take place, I'm willing to do that. What are you willing to do to keep your company? I didn't want to beat Maximus. I didn't want to fight Maximus. I showed that during the show, during Rocket Pro's matchup. I didn't have to fight him. I didn't have to beat him to win. I already won. I already had a championship. That is one thing. But just the idea of him being still upset over this thing that he shouldn't be focusing on. He should be focusing on having to deal with this undeniable task that is slowly growing, that he has a direct hand in. whether he wants to acknowledge it or not. You don't have to acknowledge that you're justice, that you're the arm of justice. That's fine. But it's going to have to come up sooner or later. Trying to whip my ass and beat me down, great, wonderful, that's fine. I've taken ass whoopings. Won't be the last one I take. I've never had a company taken away from me. But I've seen companies go down this path many times before. And if there's one thing that I've learned, it's always because someone didn't pay attention to something. My whole thing is just pay attention. That's all. Now, if you want to talk about the match, that's a different beast in itself. So I figure that's kind of what you want to get out of it because, that's, journalism. But do you want to talk about the actual match itself?
Well, just
or
give
do you want to talk about the other stuff? Because we still got other stuff you got to get through.
You got other stuff, but I just, that match, I just felt like you look great at it. So I just wanted you to talk about it because you seem really motivated.
Thank you. I don't know what else you want me to say. I mean, while I didn't necessarily have to beat or want to beat up Maximus, I don't like taking ass whoopings. So I was trying to get the hell up out of it. Every time I got the chance, please, ref, just DQ and just do it 10 count. I don't care what it is. I'd rather not beat Maximus. I don't want to beat him in front of his family, in front of his kids, in front of his students, I should say.
What about those kids? You said you had some choice words for them.
I did. And normally I would say, fuck them kids. But I can't say that because of the kids that are there. Because I know someone's going to hear this. And I don't want to say that. But if Luke gets in my face again, and Luke, you know who you are, I will punch that man in the face every time I get the chance. He said, don't punch him in the face. And I looked right at Luke and said, I am going to punch him in the face. And if you ask me, please don't, I'm fine. He dared me not to do it. Who won't? Who won't punch him in the face? I will punch Maximus in the face every time. I don't have to beat his ass. I will punch him every time I get a chance just because of Luke.
Luke is 8.
Luke, keep your mouth shut. Tell your friends. Don't mess with him. I'll trick you. I don't care.
I just have to interject that I'm not sure why you're concerned about swearing in front of these children, because the children in the audience at Rocket Pro are some of the worst behaved little shits I've ever come across.
Oh, I know that. I know that 100%. But see, we're not at Rocket Pro. And the internet is a bad place. Because I have no problem talking to Luke to his face in front of all of his people. That's fine. But as I've learned on this show, sometimes you say stuff and people try to go and work around it. And I don't feel like dealing with that today.
That's fair.
I just don't.
That's fair. Thank you.
But Luke, I will smack the shit out of Maximus every time I get the chance.
And that has been proven over and over again.
You got what you need, or you want me to continue?
I'm good. We'll move on for now, but we may come back to it a little bit later.
Of course we will.
Of course we will. Rockstar Johnny Nye, Kevin Cade, Red. That was the fateful match where you had your moment in time. But Johnny Nye, boy, the crowd ate it up. Johnny Nye has been reborn. The Rockstar cometh. The fans started chanting Rockstar. What a moment that was. So Johnny Nye has been redeemed. He is now a Rocket Pro favorite. C-Red has become the alpha male by bitch slapping Damian Gray. Stay tuned for Darkness Falls. God knows what happens next. After the Johnny Nye, Kevin Cade match, we of course had the crowning of new tag team champions. As I told you all, it was an all but a foregone conclusion, though I didn't realize that it would take Christian Rose interrupting his boys, because boy, did they start off hot, didn't they, Red?
But again, I stated this on commentary. Anybody that's ever played video games. So I'm sure our co-host will get a kick out of this. If you remember playing the original like Street Fighters and Mortal Kombat,
Mike Tyson Punch Out.
Even Punch Out, when you got to that final level, you were just hitting all kind of buttons just to see what worked. Like you had to just come up with the right combination, right? And that's what the Coyotes tried to do. They came out the gate just trying whatever to see if they could get an advantage. Now, with that being said, and since you love Mike Tyson's Punch Out so much,
just call me Glass Joe.
Remember how Glass Joe Tyson would just hit you the first time and your knees buckle.
You'd be like,
you're down.
Like,
and here comes the ref. 1, 2, 3. Like, as soon as they messed up, like, dude, Shogun threw Burner so bad, I thought he was getting ready to throw him out the ring a couple of times. And I'm not going to lie. I thought this match would be more competitive. They got their ass whooped. Now, with that being said, why, Christian? Why? And was it me, or did you notice how Christian he cost them the match and let him tell it he didn't, but we were there, we were live, we were sitting right there. And here comes Connor. Did you notice, again, the leader of the Coyotes walked off. Yet Connor had to come and make sure they were good and take them to the back.
All it took was the game over. Super kick into the M80. Many will fall to the tag team champions that way before this thing is over. Congratulations to Marche Rocket and Shogun Chris Logan for winning the tag team titles about as quick as anybody has ever formed and won them. Let the legendary run begin. It's going to be amazing. I can't wait to see what Rocket Pro does to challenge these guys, because right now you're going to have to come up with something special to even give these guys a challenge to win, because they are too tough.
I got my victory cookie. That's all that matters. I didn't get
victory cookie. I got nothing. And he was giving out victory cookies from his box. I didn't get one. I'm his J, and I didn't get a victory cookie.
Hey, I'm too bad. I got mine.
Here's the thing. Marche Rocket's our guest next week. Marche Rocket comes back for the 17th time to the Power Hour. I'm going to ask him about that. Not happy. Then there was the main event. Aaron Stone defending his Rocket Pro title against Quinn Whittick, who never really lost the title. And there you have match of the night, and it's not even close. Those guys put on a death-defying clinic in front of a sold-out, standing-room-only crowd. It was a symphony of violence. There was blood. There was carnage. There were ladders. There were doors. There were chairs. It was everything you want in that kind of match. But in the end, Aaron Stone found a way to retain his title despite the effort put forth by Sexy Violence. Red, your thoughts?
I mean, it could have went either way. Let's be honest. I don't know how Aaron Stone if he's even walking today. I don't know how. The way Quinn took out that knee halfway through the match was something brutal to witness. But they left it literally all on the line. And again, I think if Quinn would have ducked, which sounds so bizarre as I'm saying it, that title hanging from the ceiling, if he would have just ducked this, we might be saying, Quinn Whittick won, but, Stone was smart enough to realize, hey, I can't pull it down right now, but I can use it as a weapon, and smacks Quinn upside the head and
wide open,
right down through the door, and Stone is able to take down the title and retain the RPW championship. And I mean, but it could have went either way. Again, I am shocked that I didn't see the crowbar. I was shocked that I didn't, but I guess I'm glad in a sense, but we still have unanswered questions. Why did Quinn miss kicks on 66? Who's behind him missing the show? So, all in all, bravo and hats off to both of these competitors, Stone and Whittick. They laid it all on the line, and already a match for to be put on the slate for match of the year already, and it's one show in.
Up for a Novo Award, no doubt. And Aaron Stone better heal up quick, because at Darkness Falls on October 14th, he is going to have to contest with Sam Beal. So he's got a very quick turnaround time. October 14th will be here before you know it. It's a month away. So don't miss the next installment of Rocket Pro. Darkness Falls, one of the most important events of the year. Crazy shit always happens at this show. So don't miss it in Joliet. Rachel, though you may or may not be participating this Saturday night in Homewood, the Chicago Knockouts return as the Punishers take on the Rumblers, and we get back into the season as we draw closer to the end. What are your thoughts on what's going on at the auditorium this Saturday night?
I have no skin in this game.
But you're a knockout, so you inherently have skin in the game.
I have not been to a practice in almost 6 months. I don't know what's happening.
But someone with
You did that to yourself. You did that to yourself. I'm sorry. I'll put the graphic up.
wait, as the season goes, I mean, obviously the last show was the crazy happenstance, fans buying their way into points and maneuvers and things. This goes back to a more traditional style as the Retro Rumblers and the Punk Rock Punishers renew their rivalry as we get closer and closer to who's going to take home the Golden Skate. I know you know people on the Rumblers. I know you know people on the Punishers. What do you see when you look at this graphic, Rachel?
Euro is going to destroy all of the capitalist scum, and that'll be the end of it.
So you are projecting, I believe she is a Retro Rumbler, correct?
No.
She's a
She's
Punisher.
a punk rock Punisher.
Okay. This is my time. Knockouts is starting to come to a close. I am severely misinformed. But it's going to be the hottest night in Homewood. That's for darn sure, as Homewood loves the knockouts, and this Saturday night will be no exception. Fancy a pick there, Rachel?
What do you mean?
So you think Eurotrash and the Rum Wars are going to dominate? That's the long.
That's it. That is my pick. That is, the Punishers are going to punish as they always do.
Even with Lucille Brawl fronting the Rumblers.
Yes. Well, let's be realistic here. I am the hand of God, and I am not playing for the foreseeable future. So I think that throws a wrench in the air for the punk rock Punishers.
Interesting stuff. If you haven't been to a knockouts bout, C-Red, if you haven't been to a knockouts bout, I suggest you come.
If you go to one now that I am not playing, I will lose my shit. Like the next Dutch baby breakfast, I will be throwing pancakes at the wall.
So I'm gonna help you out. I'm just gonna hold on. I got it. Don't worry about it.
Well, I will not be at this show. I have a obligation with my fraternity and sorority, so I will not be there. So you don't have to worry about that.
Hey, there's a graphic on the thing. Look at that.
There's a whole wrestling show you forgot to ask about.
Okay, so let's talk about it. You were at the Raven Room. Tell us everything you need to know.
That I need to know?
I need to know.
That you need to know? I could just continue this because I could listen to Rion laugh all night, honestly.
He's not just laughing, he's laughing at me, and it's maddening.
So I cannot stress this enough. I don't know what people have to do to get to a Wrestle League show, but figure it out, because every show they put on is a clinic. And it's unreal how good of matches you see and how good the gimmicks and characters and people you come across are, and that they're not more talked about. That picture right there, can you go to the one of Reggie hung up on the ropes real quick?
Back to Reggie hung up on the ropes.
I want to say that, so the Bros were scheduled to be Reggie and Hot Rod's opponents this night. However, from what I hear, they were assaulted in Mexico, and the gentleman that assaulted them came up here and took on Reggie and Hot Rod. And the gentleman that I thought was Chad, but turned out to be somebody named Puke, I think. I wish I had pictures of it, but I was trying to, they had orange mohawks and black luchador masks. Threw Reggie so hard across the ring. I am so mad I had just put my camera down that he bounced off of those turnbuckles and landed in that position. That is the kind of shit you are missing if you are not coming to a Wrestle League show. We had Shogun Chris Logan take on who was it? JR Lindsay. Yes, my son. I'm sorry to my son.
Yes, he beat that ass.
He did. Russell, I told you when you came out that you were my son and I loved you, but you were going to die. And you died. Shogun killed you. And I like your moxie. I'm proud of you for hanging in there as long as you, and he gave Shogun a bit of a run for his money for a bit, but it's experience. Experience always, yes. Shogun is the super wrestler. I mean, what did anybody think was going to happen? There was a 3-man tag. It was Disco Ray, Jesus de Safio, and Adonis Allen, the Thundercat Adonis Allen, against yes, the Thundercat, against Rozzy, Joey Dalton, and our favorite Motivation Mike.
Mike from State Farm.
Mike from State Farm, Mike from Enterprise, Mike from Hertz. This one,
Hurts. Use that. Let's steal
this,
that.
this was one of my favorite matches of the night. I think that tag wrestling is a bit of a lost art. And this match kind of exemplified what it could be. Maybe it was just the magic of Disco Ray getting his teammates to dance with him. He did get Joey Dalton to dance for a few minutes. And I do have video of that will be going up on the Power Hour TikTok. And of course, Disco Ray and Thundercat and Jesus did take the win. And they tried to make amends with Motivation Mike, to which Motivation Mike flipped off Disco Ray, and Disco Ray stiffed him right in the face, knocked him out. It was the best things I saw all night. We had a Brittany K versus Leslie. Yes, that was a great match. It was, I think, Brittany K's 4th or 5th match. And I'm
serious with Sierra.
Yeah, she's incredibly talented for being only her 4th or 5th match. Unfortunately, I don't think I have any photos from that match, because that is, of course, the moment when my phone storage decided it was full. So then I'm spending the whole match trying to make space on my phone so I can get some more videos and get some more pictures. And then we had the Ewok and Creature at the end of the night, and it was thunderous in the Raven Room. I mean, thunderous. And you have to remember that the Raven Room is, they're not drawing like a wrestling crowd there. These are people that don't watch wrestling. These are people that saw a flyer, think, I go to this bar, I'm going to check this out. And they were so solidly on Creatures. Poor Ewok was fighting an uphill battle with this crowd because they were all about Creature. And I do want to know if Creature is in any way related to Billy from Hocus Pocus, if they're father and son or anything like that. Creature, if you could respond to that, that would be wonderful. But yeah, no, Wrestle League consistently puts on great shows. I'm gonna be uploading more clips to the Power Hour TikTok, so please check that out. Later this week, there's already some stuff up there. I will be uploading Joey Dalton dancing tomorrow, so yeah, get your Wrestle League tickets. You can see him in Homewood. You can see him in Ravenswood. Check him out.
Well, Miss Wrestle League, it's one of the best things out there. We've had plenty of Wrestle League stars on this show, so we know how talented they are. Okay. So,
hey, I got Steve to dance, so I feel good. It was a dancing weekend then.
Born to do this together, weren't we, Red?
What?
You're born to do this together.
I guess so, but I didn't expect you dancing to my music.
I was giving you a run for your money, baby.
That did catch me totally off guard. So,
hey, we had a good time. That'll be available on the Rocket Pro Facebook or YouTube channel when the show comes out, and I'm sure you get to see me and Red dance up close, because those videographers got right up on us as we were doing our thing.
Too close, but I loved it.
I had a great time with you, Red. I hope you never go away. It was truly a joy to do commentary with you. Friday night, CSW returns. We talked a little bit about it with the Moondog. He will be in action, although I don't know exactly what, because I'm not general manager anymore. But some of the announced matches are pretty compelling. Sierra puts her title on the line versus the returning Missa Kate. 3.5 years ago, when I took over as GM at CSW, Missa Kate left and went into the other places and did other things. And when she lost her title, she never got a rematch. So this is kind of the rematch that's been 3.5 years in the making. Missa Kate, NWA superstar. Sierra, one of the best in the business right now. You see her in AEW. You see her everywhere. Folks, if you like women's wrestling, this is the match of the weekend, regardless of where you're watching. Missa Kate versus Sierra. This is pay-per-view quality. This is going to be one of those matches that we're talking about for a long time to come. So you're not going to want to miss that. And Missa Kate wants her title back in a big, bad way. So I think that's going to be a very compelling match. Red, your thoughts?
You know I love Missa Kate, so I'm gonna go with Miss.
Rachel, that graphic, what do you see?
I had to unmute myself.
On me.
I'm a huge fan of Sierra. Huge fan. And so I see someone that's going to hang on to what she's got.
Pac-Man, when you look at that graphic, you know these ladies. What do you see?
So Sierra has been very, very dominant. I mean, I remember seeing that match against Brittany Kay at the last Wrestle League show. I think it's going to wind up being Sierra.
Rion, any thoughts? Rion's got no.
He's doing the graphic.
Busy. I'm fucking busy doing stuff. Let me just rapid fire this. God damn it. Let me do the thing. Just talk about another match. I'm trying to find said match that you just randomly start talking about. So now I have to figure that shit out. Please continue. Give me another. Let's see if I can find that one real quick. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Steve, have you considered writing out an outline?
No, fuck him. Fuck him. He can just do whatever he wants to do. You go ahead. Give me another match. Give me another match. Go ahead. I'll figure it out. What you got?
CSW Metro Division Championship is on the line, and it's a triple threat match between Adam Stallion, the Gatekeeper, versus Shane Boucher, the Hatekeeper, versus the champion and resident member of the douchebag army, TJ Steele.
I think that's right. We'll see. Is that right? Is that right?
Well,
is that the right one?
The right one. Well done.
All right, cool. Great. Okay.
Iniestra has won this title under very suspicious means. He is one of TJ Steele's people. I love Adam Stallion. I don't love Shane Boucher, but I don't see TJ Steele allowing his minion to lose, so I pick Iniestra. Red?
I agree. TJ is trying to show his dominance right now. So he's not going to let one of his cronies lose on his watch. So, and that's true.
Rachel, do you have a skin in this game?
I do not.
Pac-Man, what do you see?
Iniestra. It's going to, I think he's got you think he'll win.
All right. So we all feel Iniestra is going to be the winner of this match, and it's probably not going to be fair, and it's probably going to piss everybody off, but that's neither here nor there. The B to the O to the Z will be in action in a Ring of Destiny qualifying match as he takes on our favorite scumbag attorney, Eric Schultz. I'll say this very simply. There's no way Schultz wins this match unless Steele cheats. And then you think about that statement and you realize TJ Steele probably has the deck stacked against his former brother. I'd love to give this to Boz because in a real world, Boz beats Schultz 10 out of 10 times, but maybe not at click, click, boom, boom. Red, your thoughts?
I feel so good. I feel so fine. That's my pick.
When did Rob Zombie become the YMCA?
Guys, very musical tonight. Rachel, any thoughts?
I think Eric Schultz is going to be strangled by his own suspenders.
That is a fair guess. Pac-Man.
We got to go with the BOZ. If he's going to pull it out.
Well, I hope he doesn't pull it out, but I do hope he wins.
Well, you know what I mean. You know what I mean.
In a match that was just announced today, the master of the Wheel of Doom, Doom Montgomery, has drawn, I think, a short straw because visiting dignitary Colt Cabana, I don't know if he's ready to deal with the nonsense of the Wheel of Doom, but there you have it. Cabana versus Doom Montgomery. I'm going with Colt. I think Doom Montgomery is there's no way he wins this match, but I could be wrong. Red, what do you think? You know Colt Cabana better than I do.
Boom, boom, Colt Cabana, boom, boom, Colt Cabana. And Colt is going to entertain all the fans of Chicago style wrestling in a way that if they have not seen him perform before, they are in for a treat. I don't give a damn who he wrestles. I would put my money on Colt.
Is Rian singing? I don't know what's happening. Rachel, do you think Colt Cabana beats Doom Montgomery, or do you feel that Doom can upset the apple cart here?
Doom Montgomery is the psycho, right?
He is the American Psycho versus Colt Cabana.
I know who Colt Cabana is, and I know who Doom Montgomery is. How often does that happen that I know who both of the people are?
There you go. Make an educated decision.
Doom Montgomery.
Wow. Was not that.
Yeah, Doom Montgomery.
Pac-Man?
It's going to be Colt Cabana. He's got a whole bag of tricks, and I think the bag of tricks is going to be stronger than the Wheel of Doom.
That is a bag of tricks versus the Wheel of Doom. That much is absolutely certain. And in your main event, the match I have been looking for.
Rocket.
I have been looking forward to for
Rocket.
It is the
Rocket
champion Conan Lycan, the Land Shark, taking on the one and only all day Marshe Rocket.
Rocket
gets his title shot, his title rematch. The Land Shark and the Hate Keepers will probably interfere in this match, although Lycan has expressed repeatedly
to stay out of his business.
Yes, because he wants to win these matches in a way that doesn't make him look like a cheap bitch.
Rocket.
If Marshe Rocket gets to play on a level playing field, there's nobody that can beat Marshe Rocket one-on-one. Although Lycan would give him a match. Now, will the Hate Keepers allow it to be Marshe versus Lycan? Because if Lycan can get a uncontested win over Marshe Rocket and do it clean, what does that do for Lycan's career to get a win over Marshe Rocket fair and square? Red?
It does a lot, but it ain't gonna happen. It's all day, baby, all day.
So you're calling for a new champion?
Yes, I'm calling for the former CSW heavyweight champion to regain his title again, and that is all day Marshe. Sky to the Rocket, baby.
Rachel, Rocket or Lycan?
You know the answer to this already.
Rachel's going with the Rocket.
Yes.
Pac-Man.
It's gonna really come down to the Hate Keepers staying out of the match, and I don't think they're going to be able to resist. So Marche has a bit of a disadvantage coming in, but I think at the end of it, he'll come out on top because he's got the experience to deal with situations like this.
Come to Franklin Park Friday night and find out. Click, click, boom, boom is the name of the show. Right now, CSW has one of the finest locker rooms out there as far as talent goes. You've got people from NWA. You've got people that do things in many different places. And it just is a time to go to those shows, have a few beverages afterwards, and hang out with the wrestlers. They hang out every show. So it really is a great experience in Franklin Park. You should come out and enjoy it. Pac-Man, you got to come out at some point.
For some reason, my thing wasn't unmuting. I definitely want to come see CSW at some point. I plan to come before the end of the year. You can quote me on that.
I will quote you because you will have a splendid time because it gives you everything you enjoy. And then that is Friday night in Franklin Park. Don't miss it. Tonight, it has been a little bit understated. So we're going to start it next week, but I will unveil the rules tonight. Max Holiday said, boy, Steve, you need to update the drinking game for the Power Hour from here's the funny part to the new C-Redism that manifested itself over 20 times in our last episode. I counted 4 tonight. So I think Red was kind of thinking about it tonight and wasn't going to give me the goods tonight, but he'll forget about it. And you'll see next week with Marche just how good. So next week, when Marche Rocket joins us on the Power Hour, the return of the Rocket, whenever C-Red says, but again, say it for us, Red.
Nope, not gonna do it.
Red says, but again, you must drink. And if what he did last week, there are going to be some drunk motherfuckers watching this broadcast because C-Red says, but again, often. I thought he said, here's the funny part a lot. But then you watch a show, and then I watched a couple of shows back, and but again is there a lot. But again, that's what happens on the Power Hour.
You shouldn't have told him this. It should have been a secret game.
C-Red forgets things because he's an older gentleman. He'll be back and fine, especially when he and Marche start talking about the shit and start going through memory lane and we do all the Marche Rocket stuff. Red will get caught up in the moment and every other word will be but again. But that's for next week. I want to end tonight's show to talk about Dutch Babies 4. We missed you, Rachel. We wish you were there, but we know you weren't feeling so good.
That's not why I wasn't there.
Oh, I thought that's why you were there. Why weren't you?
No, that is not why I wasn't there. I was helping a child get into roller derby.
Well, there you go. I
was helping to produce the next generation.
Oh, look at you.
You're amazing. In a few weeks, we will be having Lunala and Beetlejuice on this show to talk about the minors division. So that's coming up as we head into late September, early October here on the Power Hour. How about that?
Yeah, how about them apples?
Let's just light them up. But again, you'll be there.
But before we end on the Dutch Babies note, this is my last Power Hour for quite some time.
Oh, so you are taking a hiatus. Is that correct?
I am. I have a long journey of recovery ahead of me. And I mean that in physical and mental aspects because the physical issues I've gone through this year have taken a major toll on my mental health, as is pretty obvious these days. And if I don't get better now, I'm not going to get better. So,
Well, that is unfortunate for us and for the people that follow this show. But above everything else, we want you around for a long time and we want you to feel good. So we'll be here when you return, and we know you will return. And we appreciate all you do for us. We appreciate what you bring to the Power Hour. It will be hard to do the Power Hour because you are an integral part of what we do, and we will miss you while you're gone, and we will think of you often.
I'll miss you guys too. And I can't promise I won't get too high and end up on here anyway.
Well, I'm still going to send you the link. So if you get high and come on, we'll enjoy those moments whenever you give them to us. Red, you got any flowers for the last episode with Rachel for a minute?
I mean, she
See, why
knows.
are you always trying to make me cry?
Well, we love you, and I think you question that sometimes, and it's true. So, I feel like, you mean a lot to us, and I don't know if you believe it, but it's true.
And I would hope, she knows how much she means to us, regardless of the shenanigans that we pull from time to time. Rachel has become a valued member of our group. We love her, we support her, we understand, but again, there it is. We love you infinity times infinity. So don't think that whether it is Steve, Rion, myself, or even now Pax, that we won't be there for you. Our love for you goes beyond this show. It goes beyond wrestling. It goes beyond roller derby. We have a genuine love and care for you. And I don't give a damn how many times you post it. You are beautiful inside and out. We love you for who you are. We know this time will only make you better and stronger, and we will be here with open arms. We love you.
I love you guys too.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, you know what? Maybe we'll talk about Dutch babies next time. We'll save it we'll put it in our pocket. Just know that I thought Max was going to bring out a boot named Sue to kick somebody in the face. But we'll tease that for the next episode when we have Marche Rocket. That's next Tuesday night. So thanks to the Moondog, Greg Murray, for coming on and being amazing. Thanks to Red, thanks to Rion, thanks to Pac-Man, and thanks to Rachel. The Power Hour is a family, and we enjoy getting together every Tuesday night and talking about stuff just for you. But we do it for each other too, because it's just great to hang out with these people, and that's what the Power Hour is all about: talking about wrestling, having some friendship, and trying to make people feel good in a world that things don't necessarily feel good all the time. So thanks for watching the Power Hour. Don't miss next week with Marche Rocket. I'm Steve for the Urban Sensation C-Red, for Pac-Man, for Rion Skills, for our fair Rachel. Have a great night, and we will catch you next Tuesday night right here. Good night, kids.